everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we have a film review today with the cinemas back open. This is one of the first things to show here in the UK with the reopening, and we're going to have a look at of course, Cruella today, so please join me. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. I try and give you information on these films, not just my own, what other critics are saying, etc., and also my little views as well for what they're worth. So if you enjoy what I do, please, as I say, push that subscribe button. And there's lots of other things, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, what's out to buy, what's coming to the cinema. Obviously, every week we do stuff like that. So please enjoy, please have a look around for those. And you will also see some stuff on my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if you've any interest or you know somebody who's interested, please point in my direction. Do loads of stuff, City past and present, lots of different things, quizzes and book clubs and stuff like that. So please check that out as well if you can. But it's a film today. It's a big film, isn't it? One of the biggest releases, obviously, to come to the cinema. I mean, if you, I do put loads of stuff on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you do follow or friend me on there, there's a couple of links on screen. I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. And all your comments on this Cruella or anything to do with film and TV are very, very welcome. If you don't have time, give us a comment. Just give us a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs up as well. So let's have a look at this Cruella. As I say, it's been out at the UK cinema now for a few days, getting on for 2 weeks now as I'm recording this. This is all these scores and comments are as at the 29th of May 2021 at about 9 AM. So obviously that's obviously any scores after that, obviously the thing will go up over time, won't it? Obviously, but please allow for that. It's a 12A certificate. Yeah, an interesting demographic, isn't it? A 12A for a Disney thing, but there you go, and we'll probably see why in a bit. 2 hours 14 minutes, quite long, but we'll talk about that later. Of course, a crime comedy drama directed by Craig Gillespie with a screenplay by Dana Fox and Tony McNamara. Of course, it's from a story by Aline Brosh McKenna, Kelly Marcel and Steve Zissis, and based, of course, on the character Cruella de Vil, introduced in Dodie Smith's 1956 novel. Even I wasn't born then. There you go, that's a long time ago. The 101 Dalmatians, and it is the third live-action film in the 101 Dalmatians franchise. And it's set in 1970s in London during the punk rock movement. The film follows Estella de Vil, an aspiring fashion designer, and explores the path that will lead her to become a notorious criminal known as Cruella de Vil. There you go, was she a criminal? Just a nasty woman, wasn't she? I suppose she was a criminal. It stars, of course, Emma Stone as Estella Cruella de Vil, the ambitious and aspiring designer. Tipper Selford Cleveland as young Estella de Vil, Emma Thompson as Baroness von Hellman, the head of a prestigious fashion house, Joel Fry as Jasper Baden, a thief hired by Estella to help in her crimes, Paul Walter Hauser as Jasper's brother Horace, a thief also hired by Estella, Emily Beecham as Catherine de Vil, Estella's mother, an impoverished laundrywoman, of course she was, Kirby Howell Baptiste as Anita Darling, Estella's childhood friend, and of course a journalist, and Mark Strong also makes an appearance as John, the Baroness's valet, whose agenda is not as plain as his name. Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, how's it doing on the critics site? As at this time, as I'm recording this, as I've stated before, it's got an approval rating of 73%, so not fantastic, based on 245 reviews. An average rating of 6.6 out of 10, so again, not mega, but certainly over the watchable rating. And that's 178 fresh reviews and 67 rotten, so a fair sprinkling of rotten. Karen James from the BBC.com, she actually had a rotten review on this, and she wrote, Bevan's costumes are dazzling throughout, they are, including Cruella's glittering red dress at the Baroness Gala, but when the costumes overwhelm the characters and story, there's something hollow at the film centre. Emma Simmons, she gave it a fresh report. She was with the Radio Times. She goes on to say there are a few Joker-like moments, that threaten to take Cruella into more tortured territory, but it ends up all falling down firmly on the side of fun. Yeah, it probably does. As I say, it just sort of gets towards the edge on that Joker sort of aspect and then sort of pulls itself back every time, which, Yeah, I might have preferred it to go over the edge once or twice, to be honest with you. The critics' consensus, if they add them all together, Cruella can't quite answer the question of why its title character needed an origin story, but this dazzling visual feast is awfully fun to watch whenever its leading ladies lock horns. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Audience like it. Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes audience, 97% positivity. 4.7 out of 5, so that's not too shabby. Metacritic, the other critic site we'll look at, the weighted average is 60 out of 100, so again, just at that watchable figure. That's based on 53 critics. 29 gave it positive reviews, 20 give it a mixed review, which is fair enough, and 4 negatives. And it scored anywhere between 25 out of 100 and 88 out of 100. Not the greatest scores. Internet Movie Database, yeah, this is where it all falls down or stands up, doesn't it? That's Joe Public, that's you and me, just the people going to the cinema to watch this, etc. 4,690 scores and reviews been left as I'm doing this. 7.3 out of 10, so that's not bad at all. 7.3 out of 10. And 4,118 of that 4,690 gave it a 6+ rating, so that's 88% of the total people who bothered to leave a score or a review, so that's quite impressive. So on to my little thoughts for what they're worth. Yeah, my first thought, obviously watching this, was it was long. It was a bit too long for me. There wasn't enough in it to be that long, to be honest with you. It's about the runtime was about 2 hours 14 minutes. You could take 10 minutes off for credits, but be careful at the end because you have some credits and there's a little bit extra of the story, which isn't probably about a minute or something like that, so be careful, don't be getting up and legging out, which most people don't these days because they have a way of doing these things, don't they? But yeah, there is a little bit extra, but yeah, just over 2 hours runtime if you take out all the credits. And I seriously think if they'd reduced it and left a bit more on the cutting room floor, which they're not tending to do with something like this, to be honest with you, they'll try and get cram as much in as they can. I think if they knocked about 30 minutes off the runtime, I think this would have been a lot tighter and a lot better film, to be honest with you. A lot of people are giving it high scores. Of course, there's a lot of 10s out there, as you say, which I never believe anyway, to be honest with you. Nothing can be a 10 out of 10, well, almost nothing anyway. And there's plenty in this to like, as I say, it's unfortunately, some of it gets a bit drawn out and lost in the overall 2 hours plus of the thing. The two Emmas, of course, were absolutely excellent. The younger Emma, occasionally didn't quite hit the mark, but yeah, most of the time she did, and certainly the older Emma, the older States lady, obviously did as good a job as you expect her to do, to be honest with you. And I even like Joel and Paul's characters, the two brothers in this. Well, most of the time anyway. They did annoy me occasionally. Of course, the look of the film is excellent. Fashion is excellent. I mean, it's daft, but it is what it is, and it's exactly what you'd expect from this sort of thing. Story was simple, and this is probably part of the problem. There's perhaps not enough plot there for over 2 hours worth of screen time, to be honest with you. And it's possibly best, yeah, you know me, I like to binge watch TV series and obviously films. You binge watch them because you're usually only there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But this is probably best watched with an intermission as well. So keep your eye on the clock. And once it gets to about 1 hour 10 minutes, have a brew, go and have a chat and something. Turn it off, pause it if you've got it on DVD. If you're at the cinema, you can't. You're going to have to watch it all the way through. But if you wait for it to come out on DVD or you stream it on Disney Plus, I assume it's going to be on there. Yes, pause it and actually go out and have a break. Say you don't have that option if you go to the cinema to watch it, which is probably why it felt a bit long. But yeah, it is possibly best with an intermission. So there is legs in it later on down the line when it's released on DVD and Blu-ray, etc., etc. As I said, the demographic, it's a 12A, so obviously it's not looking for a younger audience. And yeah, I think younger audience would be pretty much struggle with this if you sit down as a family. Teenagers even might find it a little bit of a struggle as well, so it's probably more aiming for the adults, to be honest with you, in its style of film. But as I say, as an adult myself, perhaps I did struggle a little bit at times for this, so it will be interesting to see. But as I said, obviously with all those high scores as I read out earlier on, it's obviously finding a home with some people, but I expect those that overall scores perhaps to drop a little bit over time, to be honest with you. As a going back to the cinema feature, yeah, it's a worthy effort. It's nothing. It's a nice big thing to get back on the screen for the cinema owners. Never mind the cinema going public, and obviously that's mainly thanks to the two leading ladies, I think. But I wouldn't say this was a great film. I'd just say it was an okay film. It's a watchable film. So it's a watchable film, as I said. If don't rush out. You know, if you're not going to rush out to the cinema, then yeah, get it on. If you get it on DVD or stream it, as I say, have a pause in between, and you might get a little bit more out of it. But I'm going to give it my basic watchable rating, which is probably in line with a couple of the other critics. Was it? I think Metacritic was 60 out of 100, wasn't it? Yeah, so I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give it my basic. Say it's a nice effort, lovely to watch, lovely to look at. The two Emmas are superb. Did enjoy that, but the story wasn't quite good enough to keep my attention thoroughly. Anyway, I did find myself sort of just checking my phone every now and then while I was, very discreetly, so I didn't cause any problems. But that's what I found myself doing while I was watching this. 6 out of 10. There you go. Let me know what you think. Anyway, as I say, a lot of people like it a lot more than I did, but I just thought it was a bit long-winded for me for what was in it. Anyway, thanks for watching. We're going to do this today. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a look across at my Citizen channel, my football channel. Whatever it is, all I ever ask of you is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.